you know, they're rings, and you just put a couple of windings through there, and it stops the RF right there. Anything that doesn't go any further than that core.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, thank you. Now, send me the link if you got a chance, and I'll take a look at them. Won't be $900 in shipping.
No. Matter of fact, if you get 10 of them, they're only $6.44 a piece. Yeah, I'll send you the link. You take a look at them. I don't care if you use them or not. I mean, I use them. They work fine, so I'll send you the link. K1KBW.
What?
Next guy said, W2NDB. I always use the snap-on ferrites. I've never had never had a real serious RF problem, so the snap-ons have always worked for me.
You run QRO power?
The strap-ons work for you?
Yeah. Yay! Oh yeah, big time.
Tim Duffy from DX Engineering. He puts those cores on everything. Everything that goes in the transceiver, everything that comes out. Whether it's computer control line, 12-volt line, accessories, whatever. In and out. And he claims it makes his receivers a whole lot better. He's not so much trying to filter out RF as it is all the other EMI from around the area, monitors and routers and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and anything else. So it's a fascinating concept.
Clocks and stuff.
Yeah, I just had a software lockup. I had to reboot, so I missed a little bit of that. Damn it. Simple solution, I have to turn the RF gain down on the SDR.
I think I usually run my SDR console at about 12 to 24 dB of attenuation.
Meaning on the RF gain control is not graduated that way, so what do you mean, Blaine?
No, up in the top menu, up on your ribbon bar, you got where the AGC is. There's right next to that, to the right of that, is attenuation. So I usually turn the AGC off, and I'll put like 12 dB of attenuation, sometimes 18, maybe 20.
I don't see that on the console. I see RF gain, IF gain, virtual gain.
That's on the top on the bar, and I think you have to go to... I don't have it on in front of me. Let me see, I'm bringing it up. Hold on.
Yeah, I sent you the link there, Tina, and I also sent you a picture of. Well, I got one left, and I compared it to my mount. Oh, it's a little over 2 inches. It's 2.5 inch outer diameter and 1.5 inch inner diameter, inside diameter. Good size ferrite core.
Oh, thank you, Bob.
Yeah, Brett, I think it's under the receive tab. I can't pull it up, but it may be a function of the receiver itself. So mine might not, so it may not show on yours.
Oh, okay, Blaine. Well, that may explain it on the SDR Play. Probably different menu. GC function. Let me see. You know, basically, I'm looking to see if there's any commands to shut it off and go on. You can turn it off, but I'd have to look through the menus to see if there's another function to set that threshold manually.
And up on the top where you see home, view, receive, transmit. I think it's on the receive tab.
It's in the receive tab.
Can find an option. So on the receive tab submenu, it's not there. So I'll look somewhere else.
W2 BTK.
And 1 GTU.
K1 KBW.
W1IA.
W2 NDP.
Bob, I lost my notch filters. I'm very upset. I got a new receiver, and I have to load them in as like a third-party plugin. How stupid is that?
Try the SDR console software.
I'm not smart enough to use that, man. I use SDR Sharp, and that's the one thing you've got to modify about it. But it's great. I don't know. This receiver is working. I want to say that it's better than my old one. I'm under the impression that it is.
Yeah, I played with the SDR Sharp, but the SDR console just has more features and the layout's a little smoother. But, I mean, they're both good pieces of software, but if you want some tweaks where you don't have to load all your plugins and stuff, I think that was one of the things that turned me off about the SDR Sharp, was I think you had to put plugins in or something. And then ALF told me about SDR console after I got this receiver. And I said, this thing's cool. So I started using that, didn't look back.
I tried using it a long time ago, and like it didn't work right. I'd do all this stuff, and I was like, man, like this sucks. And I just went back to using SDR Sharp. But now that I have an actual Airspy receiver, I guess it makes sense to use Airspy software because it's good, you know. It's good enough for me. I don't know. I'm just a radio amateur.
Oh, do you have the
See if I got it.
HF Plus?
Yes.
Loading it was, you have to have C++ installed. If you allow the program to load it, I ended up with problems. I had to go back, rip it out, install C++, and then load the software, and it worked perfectly after that. I had some lockups, but it had to do with the SDR gain overwhelming the code. It just lost its mind when you run too much gain in the front end of the SDR. And they warn you about that. It's actually in the software. Help menus.
Well, I don't know. I could try it again, but I just got this working, and it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that package of software, but I thought Uno was great until I tried console, and it's like, wow. Yeah, the Prime Minister, Dale, told me about it, and absolutely.
What
Some
is
guy
that?
in England wrote it, and he actually tried to communicate with the guy, but I guess he was quite the peckerhead.
What the hell is that down the band?
Out there on the way. It's coming up.
Oh man, that was nasty looking.
Yeah, maybe it's one of them CB peel boxes.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like, Billy. Man, it started climbing frequency. It looked like it was going to explode.
Probably did.
It ain't on anymore.
Hey, Bob, do you remember that night, that nitwit down in New York City? I got an SB 220. He's running at 1,000 watts a carrier. I said, really? He says, yeah, these things have 500 watts of plate dissipation, and I says, well, you really, there's not designed to do that. Before I could even explain to him, you don't know what you're talking about. Pop! He went off the air. Never heard from him again.
Yeah, 500 watts, but yeah, that's PEP, not RMS. That's the thing. Well, it's chalk it up to inexperience. You get people that don't know enough about AM. They figure, oh well, it'll handle, it'll do a kilowatt, so I'll put a kilowatt of carrier on. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You could hear the
Steve
Zorch.
talking the other day how he heard about BHV, the guy up in Vermont. Is he back or something?
What, Spunker Cat, man? I thought he's dead.
I thought he died too.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, what got him?
His wife.
You heard it though. It was so funny. We heard the bang Zorch, and his signal just went away. Yeah, so much for sitting there giving me crap. And then I said, well, God will get you.
Yeah, well, guess he won't do that again, will he?
Test. Uh-oh. W2BTK.
No.
Singing for the supper, they're probably screaming for their lives.
You gotta try to be kind to these
What's
people.
this thing
Come
doing?
on.
I don't even know.
Give them some
Oh,
information.
it's doing what it's supposed to do.
You do whatever you want. It's your life,
well.
your money.
I guess that's a good thing.
Down.
Anyway. Yeah, so I also sent you a picture of it next to my mouse. They're good sized cores.
And or maybe he just didn't use it. But he had a Viking Valiant.
I don't even know what those are. I don't know how much they are, but these aren't too expensive. And I would talk to them for all kinds of RF problems. And I was listening to a guy one night. You know what? Let me try these. And all of a sudden, it popped up out of nowhere, which, RF tends to rear its head when you least expect it. You move a pencil on your desktop and you get RF. I started coming through my powered speaker here, and I put one on there and knocked it right out. There's no way. I don't get anything in it now. So I used one on the guy's TV next door, and that eliminated that me bothering him. So yeah, they seem to work pretty good. They're 31 mix. Anyway, so just take a look at them. If the ones that Steve, ask Steve, he might even know about these. Next time I talk to him, I'll ask him about them. K1KBW.
Hey,
Yeah, okay, Bob. Well, I think you went off air this afternoon when Steve was talking about the problem, and Frank GF said, and Steve talking about that particular mix, J-Mix, and apparently that's the best way of going about it, but I'll deal with it tomorrow. I don't care at this point. I think I'm burned out. I've been copping an attitude lately, and I'm trying to catch myself to calm down because I get frustrated with this crap when I started having problems. It's not the radio, and now it's just the audio gear, and I'll get it fixed.
Hey, I'm doing a live stream thing right now. I got a bunch of hams just came in from another stream. They're listening over Twitch, and they're all asking. They say you guys sound awesome. They're all asking what you're running and this and that and stuff. I don't know. I think it'd be cool if you guys want. Just take a sec and let these guys, just say what you're running. Really, I'm on the experimental SDR to Harris 110. Para 4 CX 1500Bs as a driver into a YC156, and I know you guys are on some cool stuff, but they say you sound great. They want to know, so maybe say over the air what you're running.
Okay, let me see if I got it. Yep, okay, it's K1KBW in South Central Connecticut. I'm running a home-brewed Class E, Class Echo rig, 24 MOSFETs, legal limit and then some. And it's all hand built. and running into a link couple tuner with a 4-inch spaced open wire feed line. Antenna's up at about 88 feet. It's a skirted dipole, 204 feet long, 102 feet on each leg, and a B1 Behringer microphone into some audio equipment. And that's it here for me. K1 KBW.
Oh, what the hell? Let me see. This is W1IA. Basically, Bob and I are running the same transmitters. Different package, same radio, 24 FET, pulse width modulated. And audio rack, not that it matters much, is a Behringer B1, 31 band graphic equalizer by DBX 231. Into a Symmetrix 565 compressor gate limiter, and the antenna is 2-element driven array, 2 full-size half-wave spaced 55 feet apart. Pointed southwest, about 4 to 6 dB a gain, and the back is 18 dB when I flip it to the Europe. So that's it for the station here. Next on the list is...
I'll take it. N1 GTU. I'm running a Cobra 2000 with a Turner Super Sidekick microphone. No, I'm running a baby E-rig, similar to what Brent and Bob are running, but it only has 10 FETs in it, and it's an analog modulator. It's not PDM. Microphone is a RE27 going into a Symmetrix 528E, which then goes into a Mackie mixer board and out to the Innovonics 223, which then my tuner is a link coupled tuner, homebrew, and that goes out to a ladder line that feeds my 200-foot center fed dipole up at about 50, maybe 55 feet. That's it for me.
Alright, let's see if I have it. This is W2NDB in the Catskill Mountains of New York. And I'm running an SPE Trinidad with a D104P. No, I'm kidding. I'm running a Flex 6400. Before that is a Electro Voice RE20 microphone, a home-built 12AX7 tube, mic 3 amplifier, balanced in, unbalanced out. And that's going into a Heathkit SP220 modified with the third tube and running about 500 bird. And, well, you do the rest of the math. Into a dipole up about 80 feet across 3 trees in the backyard. Next.
Good evening.
Hey there, Donut Hole University.
Hey, good evening. How you doing there, Jim? Jim's back on. Got everything straightened out there. Oh, and I forgot to mention this Class E rig is only driven by 2 watts. Only need 2 watts to drive it to 1500 watts output. So it's very, very efficient. 97% efficient. And I can do yay, 200% positive peaks and 98% negative peaks. Anyway, go ahead, Jim. K1 KBW.
Hey, good evening, guys. How you guys doing tonight? Yeah, I guess I'll say what I'm running too. Seems like running out, even though I just got here. Yaesu 101E. I guess about 15 watts of drive into a SDP 1000L amplifier. About 120 watts carrier. Actually, I gotta back that down a little bit. I'm sorry. Electro Voice RE with a 320 microphone. Minimal processor with the Joe Meek 3Q and Collins 180S1 tuner and inverted L kind of a dipole out in the yard.
Is that the one with the HLR mods or the one with the KBW mods?
Oh, there's the KBW mods all the way.
Oh, okay, that's my modifications. Okay, yeah, because you sound fine. I have to pat myself on the back, but you know you do. You sound great, Jim.
Thanks, Bob.
Bucket of bolts on this end. KC2 CWM checking in.
Yeah, WMO.
W2ENY, and you're not.
You're not. Let me see if I got it. Oh, what a gang. Yeah, I lied. I'm running 4,000 2N2222 transistors in push-pull.
Hello there, Rob. Dude, the funniest thing about this setup is that I'm using two twin 4CX 1500Bs to make like 40 watts of drive for this amp. That's the best. It's the stupidest thing ever. I love it. I get off on it.
What a waste of filament current.
I know, right? High headroom. Like stupid high headroom, I guess. I don't know. Dude, that's every stage in this thing. I'm using a 100 watt PA pair of MOSFETs to make like 20 milliwatts, 30 milliwatts. And then that drives the 20, 30 milliwatts drives the Harris, and that's a pair of pentodes driving a pair of 8122s driving a pair of 4CX 1500Bs, and that brings it up to 40 watts, and that drives the YC156. It's stupid. There's just headroom out the wazoo, like more than you'd ever need, but it should be very, very, very linear. W2 BTK.
Let me see if I got it.
Yo, Billy.
Like just having a whole bunch of electric radiators with antennas. Right, man.
What's up, Bob?
There ain't nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with all kinds of headroom. It's the only way to go.
Oh, hell yeah, that's what this is all about. It's nutty, though. Dude, this Harris is so cool. Have you ever seen one of these, like on online or anything? The Harris 110A. It used like 100 milliwatt exciter, and the pair of 4CX 1500Bs. You do, if you wanted, you do a kilowatt of carrier, but I mean, it's really cool amp.
Oh yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with headroom. You run the thing down and you run it at legal limit, and then it sits there and just looks stupid because it's just coasting, and that's the way it should be.
Yep, headroom, but you need it with the low level crap. I was always high level modulated before. Now I'm low level linear amplified. It's like a different world.
Hey, Bill, I got a question for you.
Yes.
When you key up and you get this, 400 milliseconds buzz, and before your signal comes up, what is that?
I don't know. Well, I have a pretty good audio delay, so even if I start talking, you don't hear what I say, and then I have to hold the key for like a second after I'm done talking, but there's some phase modulated garbage happening in my final RF deck, the YC156, maybe like a bad choke or a cap, leaky cap, something like that, but it's like some just phase modulated garbage coming from the final RF deck, and it's not too bad. It gives the signal a little character, gives the people something to bitch about. W2 BTK on Montana Mountain.
Leaky cap is better than a leaky butt.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, it's, kind of talk about signatures. This motor contactor in the step start circuit of this radio echoes through the room. The custom electronic insulator for quieting that down is a pillow.
Works good on women, too.
The click-clack. Yeah, well, you know what? At least with a motor contactor, I don't have to worry about it breaking down like open frame relays.
Yeah, which mine did the other day. I couldn't believe it. I'm looking, I said, wait a minute. This thing's supposed to be running 130 volts. Why does my meter say 150? That's stupid. That's way too high. I'm going to damage the modulator. As soon as I key up, it would drop to 130. I go, oh, I know what it is. They're friggin' relays. You know, those Magnacraft double pole, double throw relays. But I got like 5 or 6 of them in the drawer here, so I just changed it out. But the contacts were welded shut. But hey, after, you know, many years, you know, not having a step start, that's what happens, you know. So, you know, you got to pay the price sooner or later. You got to pay.
ETP.
That Rony? Well, that was a dig at you, Bob. I'm just teasing you. W1A.
Oh, what a question this is.
Oh, yeah.
Rony, you got a
It's
nose
getting
pin
bigger.
clip on your nose. What's up?
I'm on my slop bucket rig.
Oh, you're slumming.
No, I'm just lazy.
Okay. You get the award for the yellowiest audio tonight.
Oh, I don't know about that, Brent.
Yeah, yours is still a little bit thin, Brent. It still doesn't quite sound as good as you did the other day. You're getting there, but you ain't got it yet.
Well, I'll wait till I get my RF problem. Plus, I'm backed off the microphone because I'm lazy.
Well, aren't we all?
I'm lazy and I'm getting hungry too.
Conserve energy. You don't want to expend it. You want to keep what you got.
So what's up, Mr. Roney?
Not much. I'm just hanging around, bored.
Well, you fit right in tonight. Apparently, Billy had a bunch of people listening to us, and we're taking, you know, turns on the brag list. So I wonder, that'll be kind of curious to see the responses.
Yeah, I was listening to that. Well, I'm not bragging because I've got nothing to brag about.
I think they're all just amazed. I mean, there's a few people in here, technician class, couple generals. I'm not sure where they hang out, but they were just very. They thought everybody sounded great.
Well, that's good. I used to have a lot to brag about when I was younger, but since I'm getting older, not so much anymore.
Oh, and the chat says that, Bob, you're the channel master.
Uh-oh. Oh man, I'm gonna have to turn this thing down. I'm running too much power.
Nah.
Hey, you're getting into the internet. That's great.
Well, I don't have no stinking amplifier. I don't need an amplifier with an E-rig.
Hey, I heard Steve on today running AM linear with a MOSFET linear he built, a 10 pill MOSFET linear.
Yeah, he's getting about 200 watts carrier, 175% positive peaks, and I said, you gotta put some more FETs in these. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to 12 because I want to get it up around 400 watts carrier output. So that's great. Yeah, 80 volts I think he's running in at. Using the FQA 11 and 90s, which are, you know, $3, $2 and change, $3 a piece. They're fairly cheap as hell. So yeah, it's for the guys running the Anons and the you know, the Flex 5000s, and instead of running them barefoot, we're, you know, 25 watts on AM. You know, he's come up with this amplifier so it'll at least, you know, be right up to around legal limit running the Flex, because the Flexes sound, I think, is pretty much as good as the E-rigs do. So you know, I think that'd be a good seller. Yeah, you can make a lot of money on those. K1KBW.
You know, it'd also be good for the budget-minded, too. It'd probably make like a little ICOM 718 sound really good on AM as well. They can't do that, too.
Oh yeah, and even the 101s, because you only run about, what, 25 watts a carrier, maybe 30. But he was only running, I think, 5 watts a drive out of the Flex, and he was getting 200 watts. So he wants to get it up to 300 or 400 watts. You know, and so you don't need a whole lot to drive them. So that's going to be good. I want to get in on that deal. Yeah, that could be a money maker.
I'd definitely buy one of those for myself and put it in a car. Just have to figure out a power supply for it, but that's easy enough.
Well, I got an amplifier that I built for the car using 4 FETs, the modulator FETs, the IRP 260Ns. There's 4 of them, and it does 250 watts a carrier. You know, it's kind of brutal, but it's amp hungry. It wants to run around 35, 40 amps.
It's a good carrier, though. Now, 35, 40 amps, would that be 12 volt or like 24 or 48 volt?
It's 12 volts, you know, and I ran in my pickup truck, and I've been modulating my headlights and stuff. It was at nighttime with that thing. And like I said, they're amp hungry. Well, the IRP 260Ns they're 200 volt FETs, but they're like, I think 50 amps. And there's 4 of them in there, so you know, I got that amplifier sitting on the floor right here, right alongside me. I was just working on it the other day, and Ken, he pretty much designed it. His he was running he was getting a ton of power out of his.
Boy, that's right up my alley, Bob. That's exactly what I need.
Yeah, but you need a really good alternator and charging system. Otherwise, you know, if you're sitting there with your engine idling and you key up, it'll stall the engine.
Yeah, you need a beach ball sized Corona ball too.
Yeah, I didn't have a very big one on mine. Matter of fact, Ken put a hot dog, because he didn't have any ball on the top of his antenna. We both made homemade antennas. I used number 10 THHN and wound it on a 3-inch piece of PVC, made a big coil, and he skewed a hot dog on his thing and keyed up, and he actually cooked that hot dog on his antenna.
I want sauerkraut on my hot dog.
Dude, I had a friend try that with his chicken band set up in his Suburban or whatever, and they cooked a hot dog. They took it off though, and then they kept like keying. I guess it was hot dog juice or something dripping on that antenna, and it was just throwing these nasty arcs off the antenna. You could hear the guy talking. He was playing the air horn sample, like the Funkmaster Flex, like you know what I'm talking about. He was playing that, and every time he hit it, you'd see an arc fly off the antenna. It's pretty sweet. Hot dog experiments are good.
Sounds like
Liquid lightning, I love it.
You know what?
My car, 25 or 30 years ago, and one day one night I went to pick my son up at the high school at a basketball game, and I'm just sitting out in the parking lot, and I'm on the air talking. It's around 9 o'clock at night on 75 meters, and all of a sudden my son opens the door, and I go, well, I was going to come and get you. How'd you know where I was? He says, I just followed the sound of your voice. So the Corona, I was modulating the Corona.
Yeah, that's crazy how you can hear it. I saw a YouTube video guy throwing like a stick at an AM broadcast tower and you can hear the thing, but yeah, you know what I want to do is with a high level modulated setup, I'll take the high level audio at a couple hundred watts and make like a hot dog filter and run it, you know, run a hot dog in series with the high level audio before it hits the final, and see what kind of like snaps and crackles and pops you can get through that hot dog filter on your plate modulated rig. I'm gonna try that next. Everybody see how I sound, you know, be like, oh, you got weird crap going on with your audio. Don't worry, it's the hot dog filter. It's like a party trick. W2BTK.
I had my son one time. I gave him one of them 4-foot fluorescent tubes, and we were outside in the driveway, and I said, "Here, hold on to this." And he's standing about 4 or 5 feet from my antenna. I keyed up and I lit that thing up brighter than hell. He goes, "I don't freaking believe it."
Oh yeah, that freaks people out.
Guys watching the flea bach carrier drift up and down. I don't know. Good luck.
Yeah, well, you know the first rule of thumb: if you're going to cause interference, get a friggin' signal.
Oh God, so funny. What's Timmy's favorite expression? The proverbial flea on a dog's back.
Hey, Bob, I haven't heard Willie on in a while. Where's he been?
He's in New York. He went, I think he left Friday or Saturday night for New York. He's down in New York.
Yeah, but I haven't heard him on in a couple of months. Has he been on? You guys used to be on 160 almost every night.
Yeah, he's been kind of busy working on stuff. He hasn't gotten on a whole lot lately in the past month or so. But you get in these moods where you just get into other stuff, and you get a little tired of the radio stuff, and then you always come back to it.
All right, I was just curious, a little worried, because one of the last times I talked to him, he was complaining about his ticker.
No, he's doing fine. Yeah, he's down visiting his son. His one son there that's married. Matter of fact, Bill just became a grandfather.
Been fun, but I'm gonna head upstairs.
So
got a busy day tomorrow.
There to see the new baby.
We'll catch up with you folks later. It's been fun. W1IA.
All right, see you later, Brent.
I'll see you, Brent.
Yeah, catch you later, Brent. I guess we doubled. Yeah, he's Bill's grandpa now, so he went down to visit his son and his daughter-in-law.
7-3, Brent.
Both fine. They both about the same signal strength here, and good to hear you both. So he's a grandpa now, no kidding. Good for him.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been. Let's see, I'm a grandpa like 7 times. So I just don't want to hear that great stuff.
Well, I'm a grandpa of 5 times that I know of.
Yeah, well, I'm 7 times that I know of, but I don't want to go into the great grandpa stuff.
Norway 1, Radio Whiskey Papa.
Yeah, what's up there, Bob?
What's going on, partner?
3, come on down.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, well, you started out here and then you flipped up to 74. What happened?
I don't know.
I'm gonna figure out why my monitor says HDMI 2 every time I key up and then it goes away. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know. Am I getting RF into it? Well, I got one more of those cords left. I guess I can put that on there.
Hey, Bob, which radio should I buy? 7300, 991A, or the DX10?
I don't know anything about either one of them.
Oh, my goodness. I'm listening to some Deja Vu.
Ask some of these guys. Maybe they know. I don't even know what those are. Ask some of these guys. Maybe they know.
6300. I should go with the Flex 6600. I don't want to spend $3,000. In the $2,000 or less range. I think I'll go with the DX10, Bob.
Flex 6300 is like $1,500, man. You can buy.
I see them going for $700-800. They're getting cheap as hell now. I got two 5,000s. I got one down here that I run now. That's when I'm got 2 watts of driving the E-rig here, and I got one upstairs that's loaded. That one's got the second receiver, the antenna tuner, and the 2 and 440 module in it. You can't get much more than that in that one. That one's loaded.
You gotta get yourself one of these and do like the experimental homebrew SDR.
It's interesting. That's interesting. There's a lot of concepts here I'm thinking about. $2,000 or less, though. That's the gig. Not that interested for $5,000. I gotta buy. I talked to Connor down in Southington. I gotta buy a Gretsch hollow body, $250. I might go down and buy it.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that's a good deal. Wow. Yeah, as far as the radios go, though, Bob, you you can't beat a Flex 5000 for the price. I mean, you know, the Anons are great too. I mean, you got a lot of good stuff out there with the software defined, but you know, when you can get a radio, the caliper of a Flex 5000 for $750, you know, that covers from 160 through 6 meters, and you know, it just that's just phenomenal.
No, I know, but I don't want to have nothing to do with plugging the crap into the computer. You know, the DX10 I can also put in this 32-inch screen I got. You know, and do that. Great blocking range. I also want the, you know, that blocking range to knock out the channels next door. But the 7300 for $1,000. Of course, now they're all out of them for another 2 to 4 weeks. The 991A, I was thinking about it for the 2 meters, but I forgot. I got the FPM 3100. That I mess around with that for a little 2 meters. But I gotta see. I'm waiting to hear from Jack up here. You know, my neighbor Jack up in Harlington, to see what the story is, the review is. He bought one, I guess, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's the only problem. You know, running the some of the software-defined stuff. You got to run a computer with the older stuff, and computers can be a royal pain in the butt. So yeah, I know what you mean.
That's why I held out until the 6400s came out, and I bought a Maestro, and I never turning back.
No, I can't blame you. That 6600M. I was looking at that. But, you know, that's $3,000 too. You know, I don't know what I want to do, but I gotta step on it. I don't have to. I mean, the DNR and the DSP of this radio comes in better than the 7300 and better than the 991A. You know, and of course I was thinking of that the FTDX 3000, but that's only $100 cheaper than the new FTDX 10. So I don't know. I gotta check the reviews, but we'll see what happens. Did you talk to Chris at all, Bob?
You gotta check out new radio. You don't have to pay top dollar for a Flex anymore.
No, I know. I just want nothing to do with a computer.
Get a pair of 833s and plate modulate them.
Go get a couple of those big favorite tubes. Forget about it.
833s coming out.
Oh yeah, come on.
I'll just go take that freaking big thing my uncle sent me up on in pieces. I'll put that together. I'll put the 3K freaking Henry in here.
That's what you do, is get a radio and then get on the radio and talk about getting a radio, and then get on the radio some more and talk about how good your radio sounds, and get on the radio some more and talk about your radio, and your radio, and then the radio, and the radio.
How does my radio sound?
How do I sound? Do I sound good? How do you? Oh, you sound great. Oh my gosh, the radio.
How do I sound now?
Talk about the radio.
We're all on the radio. How is my radio?
Don't ask how mine is. I know how it sounds. Marvelous.
Oh my.
Yes, Bob. You sound marvelous.
Radio. My radio.
Absolutely spectacular, if you ask me.
It's the hobby that we talk about. The hobby. Talk about the radio. On the radio. Talk about how good our radio sounds on the radio.
If I put a big guy behind this, I'd be in trouble.
Hey, Billy, did I tell you I finally named this rig?
Uh-oh. What'd you name it?
Bigfoot.
That's pretty fitting. Pretty fitting. Now you gotta paint it blue.
Well, it's actually black, but yeah, I call it Bigfoot. So anyway, let me shut up for a minute here. I got to hit the command center. I'll be back. K1KBW 3873 AM.
I seen a red door and I want it painted black. Go get them, kids.
One of them damn Sam Squash radios. KC2DHU.
W2BTK with my MRI blue official, that kind of powdery light blue that all those MRI cabinets are. And it matches my watt meters, man. How trippy is that? My final, like the whole enclosure, it's this nice blue, and it matches my coaxial dynamics Watchman watt meter. W2BTK. What do they call that? That's ham radio drip. That's as close as it gets.
I noticed one thing, though. You don't drift over here. You're like dead on. Where I hear everybody kind of wobbling in and out of there, you don't drift. I just think that's because of the signal.
Well, yeah, I shouldn't. I mean, this is an SDR. It's actually, all the modulation and all that crap is done, in firmware. Like, it's digital. Like, the input to my exciter is a Cat6 cable. It's kind of trippy.
Roger on that. So the latest thing I did is with the auto tuner, so there's no distortion, I think, on the signal like there was before. Of course, there's not a big wide, not a wide band signal, but probably I'm doing, I think, 150, 200 watt carrier, about 500, 600 on a piece.
That'll work.
I got a big guy here that came in from my uncle Pete that died out in Pennsylvania, and I don't know what I want to do with it yet. But it's a 220 unit, which there's no 220 here, and of course my cousin ransacked everything else that was out there, and the thing came in with the busted, tubes are busted, crap. Oh my God! I think the thing was out in a barn.
That's such a shame. I hate hearing when a 220 gets busted up because they just ain't making them anymore.
No, I know Henry's okay. But,
Hello, Pappy.
I don't need this.
222 schmoo money. What? They're cool. I don't know. Everybody goes crazy about them, but they're just kind of like, what?
Choppy on that, no kidding. So, but anyhow, I rewired the mic. So I put my Shure mic back on. Obviously, it sounded better than the other mics.
Oh.
So I'm thinking of doing the upgrade. On the this is 450D. I think I had this radio got to be 8, 9 years now. Not too bad for what it is. But I'm tossing the coin at the 7300. But when I went to the review, of course, everybody, whoever's doing the review is going to pick the radio they like. This radio came up pretty good with the DSP and the DNR, and the 7300 was kind of slacking off on the reception, and then there was trouble. Of course, there's all the write-ups on what happened with this one and that one, so I don't know. But I'm thinking about pulling the brakes on the DX10. I got the FTM 3100 that I do the 2 meters on. I got a pair of stackers that I run. I do 150, 180 miles simplex easily.
I'm just happy with my new receiver. That's all. W2BTK.
Roger. So what are you doing for fun, Bill?
Nothing. This. I mean, what? I just work all the time. Sometimes I get to hang out. I don't know. Me and my cat watch TV together. That's about it.
No honeys? No cute honeys coming around?
No, man, because you know why? That's trouble. I don't have time for it. That's like another full-time job. You gotta rent, don't buy.
I love it. You gotta have the honeys, though. You can catch a couple of honeys. Of course, those are guys like me. I firmly believe in the Chinese chiropractor. Of course, they close all the massage parlors down.
dude, also with all this crap, everything's shut down, and like Jersey still sucks in most places. Like, there's nothing going on. You ain't gonna go out and like, I don't know. It's a mess, is what it is. So I do my best to just like keep to myself.
Yeah, it's all right too. You know, you get a couple honeys. You know, you bring them in and out. You know, you don't want them to fall in love with you. You don't want to marry them.
Yeah, not even that. It's too much. I like doing my own thing. Like, I can come home from work and like just kick my boots off and throw my crap wherever I want and like literally lay down on the floor and take a nap. And I know that nobody's gonna wake me up or like, you know, like that's it. I could just stay asleep there until I have to leave for work the next day if I wanted to. And giving that up is very, I don't know. I struggle with that. W2BTK.
Roger. Norway 1, really with Keith Papa. That's all right, you know. You can catch one along the way. You know, you don't have to go out of your way for it.
Yeah, you meet the right gal. You meet the right one. Took me a couple to find the right one. But I can do that now. Throw off my boots, lay down on the floor, and go to sleep. Of course, the noise in the house would probably wake me up, but she wouldn't wake me up. One of the damn cats would wake me up. But that's why I come out here in the camper. Then I can really hide.
Roger. I go down there by Bobby's down there at the Pink Puppy there, the old Red Dog Saloon. You meet a queen for a day. About 50 motorcycles piled up, bunch of freaking rock and roll guys in there out of their mind, and a good old freaking hard blues band playing out Chrysler like in a bigger shed, you know?
That sounds like a cool joint.
Great. Now, what kind of a receiver is this again? You mentioned it's a...
Call for a tow.
It's probably, I'm sure, a vacuum tube set. I'm of the opinion that any of those receivers just absolutely sounds...
For a tow, that must mean it must be a Harley.
Japanese plastic radios, you know, Yaesu, ICOM, Kenwood, you know where I'm coming from. I've never ever had one of those transceivers that I used as a receiver. I have an ICOM IC718 here, which I use as the exciter to this transmitter. But I've never ever used it as a, in a classical transceiver type application. I've never used it, I've never connected the microphone to it. It's just
up to Christ, I don't...
CW exciter, and it really works very, very well. So that said, what is this receiver that you have? And it obviously sounds like it's a nice find.
SX99.
We'll get a pop, we'll say hi to the old lady, make the rounds in the yard and come back.
Speaker on that.
Take a recreational beverage.
Quarter-inch jack into the headphone jack, and I was like, wow, does that sound good when the guys with quality audio get on. So that's become my receiver for the Johnson. It looks at home with the Johnson. You know, they both have the big half-moon dials on them, and you know, there's two little...
Sad tonight.
Comes up and somebody did a little mod on it. I noticed that there's one miniature tube in there, and it doesn't show up on the tube chart. It's a OB2 regulator. So they evidently were trying to make it, you know, drift-free or something. They wanted it to be more stable, so they put a regulator on one of the voltages. Haven't got under the chassis to look under there, but that's, you know, to me what makes sense. It's nice, you know. If it hadn't been dropped, it was in excellent condition before it got dropped. You know, it's got some scratches in it there, and popping glass, but that's well. That's the key thing. It hears really well. As a matter of fact, early this morning when the band was totally gone. There was, I hooked up with my buddy Craig out, and no matter what I did, and none of the normal group could get in there and talk. They couldn't, no one could hear each other. And we talked for about an hour, and the thing was bulletproof. W1XR, W2XR, M1XEW.
I think I remember that receiver. I think I've seen it in...
I just hope it's the right half for the antenna. I'm not boiling the water out there yet.
There's octal tubes. I'll take a guess and say it's probably early 1950s vintage. And those receivers can sound really, really nice. And, you don't have crystal filters or magnetostrictive filters in there to muck up the quality of the audio. And it probably has a pretty decent audio output stage. I think you got yourself a nice receiver there. And yeah, I would agree. If he put the previous owner put an OB2 in there, it was probably across the B+ rail that supports maybe the first local oscillator. Try to stabilize the receiver against drift. But I've got a number of receivers here. They're all vacuum tube, and the ones that I always use, because they're right here in this particular shack. I've got actually two separate shacks. I've got the R390 from 1953, a Motorola R390, which is what I'm using right now. And I've got a 1967 vintage EAC R390A. And they're both great receivers. I use them pretty much.
Spent hours with the damn thing.
Weekend, I'll use the R390A. And in the other shack, I've got a TMC GPR90 with the outboard single sideband converter and the original TMC loudspeaker, the matching loudspeaker, which is, I think, one of the prettier amateur radio or general coverage receivers that were ever made, but in my judgment, very sorely lacking in performance. Not the best receiver ever made. And sitting right next to that, I've got a Collins 75A4. I've actually got two of them. I've got one that I've had since 1980 that I got from the original owner. And then the one and that's not in service right now. I keep that on the shelf. But the one that I have in the other shack, I got that from a friend, and the receiver was completely restored. And I used that with a Heathkit Marauder single sideband transmitter and the Heathkit Warrior linear amplifier. That's in the other shack. And I have also got my TMC GPT 750 there and the SBT 1K clone. But I also have two Hammerland SP 600s. And actually I have one sitting in one of the racks here in the shack that came from WSL here on Long Island. And then I have another one that I picked up at an estate sale probably about, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 years ago. That when I bought it at the time, I had no idea that it was a very, very rare version of the SP600. I thought it was just a regular SP600 but made for the U.S. Army Signal Corps, which it was. But as it turns out, they only made like 100 of this particular receiver, and they only made them in 1953. So the receiver's almost 70 years old, and it's in beautiful, beautiful condition. And I don't use it. It's just sitting on the shelf. But yeah, these are great receivers, and they all work really, really well on AM. Oh, I have one more. I've got a Heathkit Mohawk, which was my first receiver from my novice days, which is also sitting on the shelf. But yeah, I have a special affinity for those old tube receivers, like a lot of hams do now, of course. And again, you can't knock them for really, really great audio quality. And I'm wondering how that receiver, or how my audio sounds coming through that SX99. N1XZW from W2XR.
W2XR, M1XEW. Well, I'll tell you what, it's 20 over. And since I had the volume turned up a little bit, because Timmy was there,
3873. Good afternoon. Good to hear everyone on this glorious Sunday night. I was very happy to notice that at 6 o'clock, it wasn't pitch black out. Yes, the days are getting longer. Bring it on.
Hi, Clark.
Hey, Bun McCutchie.
What are you doing? You don't have any hot dates tonight?
No, that's this week.
Oh, you do it during the week. Damn, homie. Well, more power to you. I'm too old for that.
Well, wait till you get even older and you get cranky like us ham radio operators.
Cranky-er?
Correct.
Man, yeah, well, if I get any crankier, it's gonna be bad news. You missed it before, man. We got, on Twitch here, somebody rated me, and it was a bunch of hams, you know? A couple technicians, general class hams. They were very interested in this. I think everybody sounds great. Everybody went through their whole rig rundown, what they were running, and all that stuff. It was kind of cool. W2BTK.
Yeah, your Twitch channel got it invaded. I don't think that that's really any big deal unless they get to the point technologically where they can besiege, not raid, besiege your Twitch channel and give you a virtual wedgie. Now that would be well worth it.
Well, you know, that's one thing. I'm just talking about, like, hey, I met some hams on Twitch. They found me, and they're here, so that's cool.
We're just being spied on by more people from the outside world once again. Just kidding.
So if you're on Twitter, you tweet. If you're on Twitch, yep, Twitch, like a nervous twitch.
Yes, like tons of caffeine and staying up all night playing video games. I think that's why it's called Twitch.
Gotcha, makes sense.
I think Pfizer makes a pill for that now, don't they?
I think it's called alcohol.
Hey, there's always something that keeps us up all night, huh?
If you experience painful twitches lasting more than 4 to 6 hours, please consult a physician.
No, it's please ask your physician. And then, if you experience these nasty side effects, like if your leg falls off, if you bleed out your ears, or your heart feels like it's going to bounce out of your chest, stop taking the medication right away.
What if you tear your transvaginal mesh?
That's when you call Getty, Greenberg, Gittleson, and Steinwell.
Then you're a transgender bender.
Oh, that's like Bill's Water, Loophole, Flywheel, and Shyster.
What?
So what's new, Brian?
Not a whole lot. I just got the dinner call though. So let me go eat dinner with her and I shall return.
And there you go. Now you know what's going on in the KB3 studio.
Dinner, Brian. KC2DH2.
Hey Jim, long time no hear. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Alright guys, carry on. Have fun. Play safe.
Enjoy your dinner, Brian. Say hi to Lisa.
Thanks, Billy.
Enjoy the vittles.
All right, good conversation.
Now I'm gonna have to make some kind of a pickup antenna for demodulating myself onto this SDR receiver, because I'm much lower than I was into the other one. I'm quiet. I'm like piss weak into my stream, man. What?
Why am I hearing sideband on my left channel?
That's right.
You gotta tuck it in a little bit. You tuck in those side bands, you know.
Hey, the foghorn. I love this radio.
Alright, good chat. See you out there.
Yeah, what the hell? Conversation's flowing like wine, and I jump in here and then everyone gets all quiet. What's up with that?
I don't know, but maybe it's your Class E rig.
I'm using a Valiente. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the vacuum tubes that are putting everybody off. So, what did you do to attract all these zombie apocalypse amateurs to your Twitchy channel?
Nothing. I just started streaming, so, well, like on Twitch, you can, when you're done streaming, you can kind of like, you know, you knew about rating, you know about this, you can like kind of pawn off your audience on someone else. And that's what happened. So I guess there's another ham-related stream. I'm not really too sure. I gave the person a follow, and I'm going to check out their content later, but it seems like there was quite a few hams, maybe like 4 or 5 that jumped in here, man. And it was just one of those things. And it's cool.
Oh, the humanity.
Let me see if I have it. Okay. Now I kind of feel stupid. I didn't understand a single word you just said, Billy.
It's like newfangled social media crap. I'm doing a live stream right now where you can see, like, I'm on a webcam. You can see kind of some of my operating position equipment, my pan adapter, some of my SDR control, whatever. Like, you load this thing up and you can hear like what I'm hearing. So, and you know, chat and all that crap. It's in my QRZ profile. There's a link to it. Or you could just go to, what is it, twitch.tv/amateurradiolive. And I think that brings you right to it. But that's what we're talking about.
Oh, it's like a YouTube live stream. I thought these people were actually listening on a radio, and then, you know, heard you mention the Twitch thing, and they checked out the Twitch thing while they were actually listening on RF or something like that. Dumb me. What the hell do I know?
Nope, it's just all internet. The magic of the internet, right, Clark?
Yeah, magic. So, for example, you're doing a live stream, and then you decide, okay, I'm done with this. So, at that point, do you, like, look around and say, who can I dump all my viewers on? And how do you select that? Is it of people you're following? Can you see if they're doing a live stream? So, basically, you're saying, all right, class, our class is over, but I'm going to take all of you and throw you suddenly into this other chat that's going on, this other Twitch live stream, and go give them hell, Harrys, and old reference. And so suddenly this other person that you've selected, which I'm kind of curious how you would do, is they're hosting their stream. They're talking about, you know, the future of Ken and Barbie, and are they going to continue to be Ken and Barbie dolls, and are they going to continue to cohabitate in the same dollhouse or not? And suddenly all of Billy the Kid's ham radio operator followers suddenly descend on this Ken and Barbie androgynous dollhouse kind of discussion and freak everyone out. Is it like that?
You nailed it. That is literally exactly what it is. It's a feature.
Yeah, but how do you find when you decide you're done and I'm going to take all of my like roughed up drunken followers who are really looking to like slaughter pigs at this point with their bare hands, how do you decide who they're all going to descend upon? Do you choose from a list? Is there like a menu there? You can select a few and then you say, hey guys, have fun, and then you double click on whatever it is you've selected, and you're off the air, and all your hooligans, all your train spotting movie actors and actresses are now into this other live stream. Is that it?
Well, yes, that's how it works, exactly. You just click and dump, and they, you know, raid, this and that. It causes a very big commotion, but it's cool. You know, the way you select is you just go through. So, like, on Twitch, there's different categories that you can stream in, like, different, if you're playing a certain video game, you stream in that, or if you're just chatting, you stream in another one. If you're doing music stuff, you stream in music. But you get the picture. So you go through these categories, and I'll go, okay, let's see who's streaming in science and technology. And I'll go through and I'll see an interesting stream that I think that my viewers might also find interesting. And then you just raid. You dump them in there and say, all right, I got to go. But this new stream is your new home. And hopefully you find it interesting. And it's a good way to, like, find new content, too. So it's okay. But Clark, you got it. That's how it works.
So, well, like, when you get a bunch of people on your Twitch channel, you know, and they're really piling up, do you work them up into a frenzy? I mean, do you get them, like, ready to take empty beer cans and crush them against their foreheads? You know, they're ready to go out there and go bonkers and say, all right, here's part 2, go get 'em! And then you click on this other thing, and it turns out to be like a parent-teacher association meeting, and wow, what a party crash that would be, huh?
Oh yeah, we get them all riled up. We get them hopped up. Like, everybody's got Mountain Dew and pixie sticks and stuff, and we wait till the end of the stream and crack them all open and get all riled up, and then, you know, start like doing chants and preparing and, you know, sharpening our you know, utensils and stuff. And then, like, and once I click like raid, there's a countdown. And then as soon as, like, you end up in there, it's just like, we're going to war! Everybody starts spamming the chat and, you know, like, going crazy and everything. It's like, oh my god, we got raided! And yeah, exactly. You rile them up as much as possible and hope that they don't make you look bad.
Oh, so basically it's like a January 6th Capitol riot invasion, except on someone's Twitch channel.
Well, I don't like the reference, but I guess.
Alright, see, there you go, folks. I hope everyone on 3873 has appreciated this, you know, this dissection of how this Twitch invasion thing works. And by the way, Billy, I had to lose the Mountain Dew thing. I mean, everything was looking pretty like Mad Max, you know, end of the world, Armageddon and everything, until you mentioned Mountain Dew. That's not really crazy stuff. If you want, like, I would do Red Bull and rum, or Jolt Cola and Red Bull combined. because now, let's see, what was Jolt Cola? It was double the sugar and all the caffeine allowed by law, and then you combine that with a Red Bull. Oh, see, now, you really want to work a crowd up? You guys got to be pounding that stuff back and then go find a channel.
No, we pound Four Loko shotguns. You know, when I say Mountain Dew and Pixie Sticks, I really mean that, you know, people are shotgunning Four Locos and, like, you know, getting into the fine Columbia.
That's the spirit.
All right, I'm glad we had this chat.
Just like hopped up, ready to go to war. You know, that's how it works. Like it's a bloodbath every time.
I'll bet Jim is looking your Twitch channel right up now to be a subscriber.
No, I haven't done that yet. But I probably will. It's just pretty cool how it works. It's beyond my pay grade, but the concept is actually fairly cool.
You know, it actually does take a little bit of doing to get this going and working QRO and all. It's I don't know why, but I got it running.
That's why I said it's way beyond my pay grade. And in my tender age, I couldn't deal with it.
Hello. Twitch follower.
Hello, Blaine. Oh, here's a question for Clark. Clark, you're perfect. So we got KG4FBY is listening via Twitch. And he's licensed ham. He's been hanging out on AM frequencies trying to learn how to do AM better. He's been licensed for 23 years. He wants to go back to the basics. What would you recommend, Clark? Really? This one's for you.
Budweiser, huh? I'm not sure what he needs to learn here. I mean, we're just all on AM in the Northeast. As a matter of fact, if he's in Foreland, he can probably hear us directly. He doesn't even need Twitch or an SDR. What's the question? I mean, can he just take whatever rig he's got, put it on AM, and now he could join us right now. If he's in Foreland, he could probably just get on 3873 right now and join this QSO direct. That's what I'm thinking.
KG4FBY, I am here on 3873.
And there he is.
Well, golly.
Oh, you're coming in great, man.
Well, thank you. I'll clarify. I didn't want to interrupt, but since you brought me up, I might as well get in here. No, I've been considering getting an older rig that is more appropriate, I think, for doing AM, because I have to keep the drive down really low on this FTDX 3000, or it kicks in the ALC and everything goes well. So I've been looking at some older rigs or considering older Yaesus. What would you recommend?
I would recommend that you start with being real happy with that rig you've got, because I don't see anything wrong with what you're doing now. But if you wanted to have some variety, if you wanted to do a nod to, an earlier rig, there's a lot of good ones. I don't know. I mean, there's so many that both BTK, Bill, and others have been really active in restoring them. Billy, I mean, you're not on your Viking 2 now, are you? But you still have that around, right?
Yeah, the Viking 2 is ready to go as a backup, but right now I'm on my homebrew SDR. But I think he wants to maybe like be a little more wide-banded or something. I don't know. Probably the audio. Maybe a flex or something like that. Those are real easy.
Yeah, this is an old Yaesu here. This is a Yaesu 101. Probably have one of those kicking around from your CB days.
All right. Well, the forest station, I'm sorry. My name's Clark. I'm not good with call signs. Who are you? I think we gave him an answer he didn't want.
Well, I looked him up just now. Dave, I guess. Are you still out there?
Yeah, Dave, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. This is Kilo 4 Fox Bravo Yankee. I thought he caught the call sign earlier, so I thought maybe there's another caller in there.
Did you want to have a different rig because you wanted to have an older one just for having an older one? Because the rig you're on now sounds fine. I was just kind of curious why you wanted to have a different one.
What is up, my neighbor?
No, I wanted to have a different rig so that I could drive the amplifier a little harder. I've got this running at about 20 watts and got the mic gain set to 30, but if I go much beyond this, then my ALC comes in and starts folding it back. So I'm using a AL811H amplifier now, but I can only get somewhere in the neighborhood of about 150 watts out of it due to the fact that I can't run the exciter very hard. So I was thinking if I got an older rig that didn't have an ALC on AM, then I would have the ability to get up somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 watts.
Yeah, exactly. You just need a bigger amplifier after that 811. Cruise it.
Pointing. Check to make sure that the amplifier you've got can be driven harder on AM. A lot of those rated amplifiers are limited in their ability to amplify AM because it's challenging. I mean, it's got a carrier and it's got sidebands, whereas opposed to if you were just using it on sideband, it would only have to deal with a single sideband. But on AM, you've got a carrier and two sidebands, and that's very demanding on an amplifier. So, when you said you were getting 150 watts out on the amp, I'm thinking, well, that's pretty good. And I'm not sure how much more the amp would do. So, again, I'm repeating myself because I think it's that important. Before you go investing in anything, make sure that that amplifier you've got is rated for any more. And if it's not rated for a lot more, then I wouldn't worry about it, because 150 watts, like your signal's fine up here into Connecticut. So, you'd have to go up a lot in power to make a difference. And I'm not sure that you're going to see that by changing rigs. Okay, that's just my opinion, though. And one BCG.
I agree, Clark. You hit that nail right on the head.
Yeah, this amplifier is rated for 600 watts AM or CW and rated for 850 sideband. So I'm certain it will do more. And yes, I understand it's not going to make a huge difference.
So he's already overdriving it.
But when the noise level is up there, sometimes half an S unit or one S unit can make the difference. So generally when I'm running it on sideband, I feed it about 65 watts, and I get about 700, 750 out.
Yeah, I wouldn't drive that any harder. If you got 150 watts carrier, like 800 peak or so, that's just about right. I think if you want to go up in power, I would stick another amplifier behind that, turn it way down to drive it, then you'll have nice headroom. Turn everything down, just get a big amp to stick it, is the last thing before the antenna. But I don't know if I would push that 811 any harder. I think you've got it actually pretty much topped out. W2BTK.
Okay, well, thanks for the information. I'm bouncing around and talking to different people. I spent a little bit of time on 3885, listening to some of those fellows there, and a lot of them are running the old Johnson Vikings and also maybe some Collins, but several have the broadcast OM transmitters that have been modified, but I don't have that level of skill or money to invest. So not going there, but yeah, just looking at other options. But thank you for the information and enjoying the stream. KG4 FBY.
What rig is that?
This is a Fox Tango DX3000.
Clark, is that the one that has the, isn't that the one that Rob has?
Rob has an FT2000. I mean, if I had an FT3000, boy, I'd be calling it a day. I'd be so happy.
No, I didn't say I wasn't happy with the rig. It's great on sideband, and I've got it synced with an SDR, and so you know that's working out pretty good for me for everything else. But again, I think I could do better if I had a different exciter for AEM.
All right, I know it's what I mean by I'd be happy with it, meaning that for what you've got now, you're putting in a great signal up here. And I don't know how much more you'd be getting out of that amplifier anyway. So I don't think you have a pressing problem on your hands.
Yeah, you're sounding really good in the truck. I mean, definitely don't be discouraged with it. I'd be very happy with it myself. You really sound good.
Well, I appreciate the information, fellas, and the positive reinforcement. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not terribly disappointed with it. I guess I'm just looking for something else to buy.
Well, you can mess around with an SDR like a Flex. Those things are cool. You just plug it in, you sound great. Wide bandwidth AM, all that stuff. If you're gonna buy something, that's what I would buy. I went the kind of experimental homebrew route with the SDR, which requires a lot of tinkering and BS, but it works really well. But if I was gonna buy something, I'd get an Anon or a Flex. I mean, that's it.
Buy something, what would I buy? I'm not sure what I'd buy. What are you doing over there, Billy? Billy, boy. Man, I tell you. Hold on here. There we go. Hello, Billy.
Hey there, Louie. Hey, not much, man. Just trying out a new receiver. I got the stream going. You know.
For anybody who wants to know, in Ameritron, in the manual, it says do not use this on AM. They don't last very long on AM at all. All Ameritron manuals says do not use this on AM. So, I've seen a bit many of them blown up, unfortunately. But the guy didn't sound bad at all for an FT DX3000 here. I could hear him here and hear him on the other side as well. So, oh man, hello Clark, hello everybody else. Like I said, man, Billy B. There we go. Get over here. What the hell?
All night with like W8
There I am. Think I am anyway. Well, yep, I guess I am. Don't have the conditions that I normally do. But anyway, yeah, amplifiers are something. Bohemian, as they say, you have to have some type of bohemian amplifier to do a decent job on AM. At least a 100-watt carrier, might be 400 watts or something or better. Hello to all. I've enjoyed all the evening listening. You had the Social Security channel up above, and then you had you guys down here. N9GTO.
Well, there you go.
That's just how it is.
See that, Billy? You've got Twitch fans who are coming to life right here on the air. That's unbelievable.
You got to mute it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Dave sounds good too. He's big signal over here. You know, he said that we were about 30 over down there, so conditions to 4 land tonight are good. Louis out there in 9 lands coming in. Got Clark in 1 land. This is great.
Are you on 73?
Yes, sir.
Alright, let me get there. Let me get where I belong. I knew something was wrong. I was like, what the hell? I don't hear what I normally hear. My headpiece, I should say. There we go. And I was on the bell. I'm in, on the better end now. There we go.
All right. What happened?
I don't know. I'm on this end, you're on that end, and Clark's on that end up there, Mr. Clark Kent.
Yeah, I never hear that.
Oh boy, here we go, Clark.
You know, I actually met him years ago, Christopher Reeve, at a Christmas party, which I still don't understand how I ended up going to. And we get introduced, and he looks at me and he goes, "Clark? Your name is Clark?" And he's got kind of like that, you know, wacky smile and his eyebrow raised, and I'm like, oh my God. Yes, my name's Clark for real. And he looks at me and goes, "Well, it's nice to meet you, Clark." It's like, alright, this is a Kodak moment. Superman here is pretty impressed that my name's Clark. Anybody want to get a quick camera shot here?
Is it long or is it Memorex?
It was pretty surreal. That's what it really was.
Oh, I bet it was. And as soon as I heard him say Clark Kent, I knew it was going to trigger that story.
And next time I saw the guy, he was in a wheelchair after his accident. So that was very depressing.
Does that kind of make you believe in karma?
It's a long story.
Oh boy, that was probably a real rotten thing for me to say, wasn't it?
Alright, fellas, I gotta run. I'm gonna make some dinner and go relax a little bit, shut this stuff off. So I will catch you later. I'm just really out here to test my new receiver and this setup. So mission success. I'm gonna run. I'll see you later. W2BTK.
Oh, wait a minute. Do we get to vote on who you're going to dump all your viewers onto?
You know, I was kind of looking through the list, and I can't even find the science and technology category anymore. Like, this is, they might have done away with it. So it's kind of hard. Like, I'm probably just going to end my stream. There's, you know, it's not a...
See that? They've already ended you, Billy.
Billy got canceled. I think you should find some, like, you know, political science discussion stream and dump everyone off on there. That would be fun.
Well, the other thing about it is, like, you rebroadcast that on your channel once you do that. So, like, if it goes south or whatever, like, you could just be like, you know, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna fade off into the sunset.
Oh yeah, I could see things going off the rails pretty badly. Okay.
All right, bye.
Hey, take it easy, Billy. You should dump it on one of them Bible banger things.
7-3, Billy.
Good night.
IBEW comes early in the morning and then GTO.
Well, think of all that lost entertainment. Billy's shuts his channel off and no one's got anywhere to go.
They're just scrambling for entertainment now. They have to actually scramble for it.
It'd be like taking one of those ant farms, with the sand, and taking the lid off and turning it upside down, and all the sand and ants pour out all over the table, and they're running in all different directions trying to figure out what to do now.
That's perfect.
You're not going to get a bestseller on a moment's notice.
You guys are screwed up.
I would have just pulled the cover off, sprayed half a can of Roncinol in it, and lit it on fire. Like it's not burning to death.
Can you do that on Twitch?
Well, I bet you can do it on YouTube, though.